You have to study it. In general, yes, first, until we get an inventory of the area where we can cull wood. Because, if the forest cover becomes too thick, it's not also very, very healthy. But definitely in areas where there are communities below, which can be subject to landslides, mudslides, and whose aquifers are not recharged anymore because of slash and burn farming, we have to impose it. My experience, even with information I got from certain islets in Palawan, the most dangerous enemy of logging, aside from small-scale illegal logging, is slash and burn farming.
Since magsimula ako magtanim, makikita 1 milyong puno na naitatanim ko, bagamat hindi ako nagkiklaim na environmentalist, pero minamahal natin yan at mahalaga na yung natitira mga forest natin ay may preserve. Kaya sa akin, dapat tumigil muna. Kailangan dito yung reforestation mo din, umaandar eh. Hindi naman kasi kung pipigilan mo rin, tapos hindi mo kayang bantayan, nawawala rin lalo eh. Kaya nga lang, sa halip na yung malalaking lager ang puputol lang po, yung mga maliliit na nagkakaingin. So, kailangan sabayan. Pag sinabi mo itigil, kailangan meron kang sapat na programa para ibalik mo yan. Para ma-reverse mo yan. Hindi enough na basta tigil. Baka, in fact, yung action na yan maging irresponsible pa.
Especially when you go through all of these areas that used to have abundant forests. I don't have to go that far. Para Interlac, we have so many hills that do not have a single tree on them. And come the rainy season, Tarlac River rampages. In the dry months, there's nothing. And our water table is really in a bad situation. Even getting potable water is a major operation in certain areas. So, in areas where it hasn't reached that point, shouldn't we be protecting it to prevent that occurrence?
Why not? That will be for the good of the environment. You have to study it first before deciding on anything.
Yes, I'm for a moratorium on logging, especially on primary forest, because, Carol, we really don't have enough primary forests left. I think basically have only about 7 to 800,000 hectares left all over the Philippines. This area should not be touched anymore, because there's a lot of newly planted forest that can be the basis of logging needs in the future. So, as far as the primary forest is concerned, I would propose a moratorium on all logging on primary forest, because we need to preserve the biodiversity left there. Yeah. Even a sustainable forestry will take some time to create the kind of diversity that would allow the uniqueness of those species to exist, which are already found in the primary forest.
I'm not for a moratorium. I'm for more aggressive reforestation. In certain areas, if we find a responsible, company that will replant, I think we should. But at the moment, I am for a temporary moratorium on logging.
My stand is small-scale mining has to go. Large-scale mining, it depends on the sensitivities of the community and an honest-to-goodness geohazard appraisal of what it does, not merely into surrounding communities of the danger of landslides, mudslides, but the damage it can potentially do to aquifers and all other sources of water. So it can be allowed, why not? But on a managed and controlled basis.
No, definitely. There should be responsible mining. Hindi naman natin pwede sabihin na basta hindi pwede yan, o hindi natin pwede sabihin na basta pwede yan. Meron tayong mga mining operations sa buong mundo ngayon na very responsible at talaga namang malaki na ang in-advance na technology sa mining. At dapat siguraduhin natin na kung magkakaroon man namin sa Pilipinas, dapat yung responsable. Yung mga irresponsibleng mining, hindi naman dapat na yan.
I was being told about Mount Diwalwal in particular, at yung garbage, yung poisoning of the water system, etc. Again, I think all our laws are there. It's really a question of enforcing all of these pertinent laws. I'm not yet at the stage where I'm extremely competent or an expert on the subject, but I do know already there are several problems that have to be addressed. And all we have to do is look at history and experiences of other countries that had untrammeled mining operations ongoing and the long-term consequences.
As long as it will destroy our environment, no way. But at the same time, we have to analyze and weigh everything. It will be for the greater good of the greatest number.
The real issue in mining is how is the mining done, and I'll give a number of factors that create such a controversy in mining. First, the environmental impact, the toxic methods. Second is the way they procure the rights to mine in a specific area. The ECC, Environmental Compliance Certificate, requires social acceptability. This is basically ignored. And if this stands in the way, there's a lot of payoffs to local leaders. And so what you get is a lot of
FPIC for the Lumans.
Exactly. And so what you're getting here, Carol, is that those ECCs are fake, most of them. They're not really authentic ECCs. And so you create a conflict. Number three, some of these mining permits are in ancestral domain lands. Some of them are in watersheds. And then fifth is that we need to restructure the ownership of the mining industry so that there can be more benefit to the poor who are sitting in those resources. They can be a meaningful part. But they can only be a meaningful part of the process if the mining methodology and technology is not destructive. So it doesn't harm their health, nor does it destroy the environment. Now, if all those 5 conditions are met, and are met really in an honest way, in an integral way, then it's possible to have a real mining process, a real mining industry that's totally different. We can call this a socially oriented and possibly green mining. It totally depends on the technology.
We cannot put the national wealth as a parochial concern. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that. But this is a country that's struggling. And we can have responsible mining in the same way we can have automated elections. I mean, responsible mining, putting it into the hands of the community itself. The community must also learn how responsible mining must be undertaken. And it cannot be, we cannot do this in the name of protecting our environment. We have to know whether the environment is actually going to be harmed by mining. Obviously, there will be some negatives and there will be some positives. So you have to have a cost-benefit analysis of everything. But over and above all, if people don't like mining in their community, then they have the right to say no mining in our community.